Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Being an Everyday Hero, episode number 4. We are Starlight. My name is Brett Culp. In this episode, I'd like to chat about that feeling that we sometimes get when we look at the world and we start to see our efforts and our contribution as inadequate, as too little, as too small, when we compare it to so much of the destruction and pain and hurt and anger that we see in the world every day. And we can start to feel like, man, I'm just not going to make much of an impact here with what I'm doing. I feel so overwhelmed by all the negativity that I see around me that I hope in the next few minutes we'll talk about some ideas that will bring a fresh and different perspective to your world as you start to see that balance between the negative and positive things going on. And I hope that this perspective will give you some encouragement and some empowerment as you move towards making a difference in the way that you are led to in your world. You may have noticed on the artwork for this podcast that it says at the top, presented by the Rising Heroes Project. The Rising Heroes Project is a 501c3 that my wife and I started after we finished our last film, Legends of the Night. We used Legends of the Night as a tool for community leaders and people that wanted to do good in their world to raise money for charity, create positive events in their part of the world. And we were so inspired by that, we wanted to start this not-for-profit organization, the Rising Heroes Project, as a tool for that. So our next 2 films, which are coming out over the next couple of years, Look to the Sky and then A Voice That Carries. Both of those films are designed to continue that. And this podcast and other videos that we're working on and short films are part of that effort as well, to equip people who want to make a difference and want to help others in the process. So that's our bigger goal here with everything we're doing, is to try to help people who help other people, which I think is your heart if you're joining us here today. So thanks for having that heart and bringing it into the world, and we hope in some small way what we're doing with the Rising Heroes Project will be helpful to you. So let's dive into this concept today of we are Starlight. You don't have to look very far to find news about all the negative things going on. And I think destruction is so hard for us to process. It makes us feel weak in the face of it because of the instant devastating power destruction has. You know, when you look at a wrecking ball hitting a building, it takes just seconds for it to create this massive level of destruction. You know that in your own life, right? I mean, there have been moments when you have done something stupid or said something stupid or behaved in a certain way, and it has unraveled in just like an instant. You know, it has created a massive impact in your life. Maybe it was that you made a split-second decision in your car, and that decision ended up creating massive damage that maybe you're even still dealing with the repercussions of in your health or someone else's health or financially in the process. We see it in our work, in our jobs. You make a mistake, you do a certain thing, and again, it maybe only took a second, or it was one mistake or one error, but you see the destructive power of that. Someone with a gun in a few minutes can create such massive hurt and pain in so many lives and can really kind of shatter us to our core. The destruction we create in those negative moments can feel so overwhelming, but it proves how powerful we are. It shows that we have this incredible capacity within us to create change. We can become cynical because we look at that and say, well, yeah, but that's negative change. But what it shows us is that we have this capacity within us to create impact. And so when you turn that mentality to a positive place, you start to see that we also have that same power when it comes to the good things. The difference is, and this is the thing that is hard to manage and process, is that creation, healing, building, unifying, doing good, those are slow. It's a slow process. And whereas destruction can happen so fast, it can take years to build a building and seconds or minutes to destroy it. And that is an unfortunate and frustrating and difficult reality for us to face as we deal with these things. But the truth is that we can make that same sort of impact over time. It's just slow. Where destruction is instant and impulsive and often is showing the weakest parts of what it is to be a human being, creation is slow. It takes time. It takes commitment. It takes working together and teamwork and leadership and perseverance, the best parts of what it is to be human. That process brings out the best in us. It shows us who we can be together and as individuals. But it takes time to bring that stuff together. It takes time to listen to each other, to connect to each other, to work together, to pursue growth. Whereas the destruction is so instantaneous, but the creation process, the building process, the unifying process is taking us towards someplace amazing. And the truth about that is, for us, is that when we look at our own lives, we would like to have that instant impact. We want to. We see, that in the movies and on television shows that they wrap up in 30 minutes, including commercial breaks, is that, in that short span of time, they move through that difficulty and find resolution, very quickly. And the impact is, from that perspective, it's instantaneous. But in our world, in the real world that we live in as everyday heroes, it takes longer. It's slower. The reality is that we are Starlight. When you look up in the sky at night and see all those stars, your mind thinks, oh, well, that's the star right now. But the truth, as scientists tell us, is that most of what we're looking at, in fact, all that we're looking at in the night sky, is very old light. Light travels at 186,000 miles per second. So a light year is nearly 6 trillion miles. That's how fast it goes in the course of a year. And then this is the reality check. When you look up at the sky, the very closest star to us is Proxima Centauri, which is 4 light years away. The light that you're seeing, it took 4 years to get here. That is a long time, 4 years to get here. And the second closest is Barnard's star, which takes 6 years. But here, blow your mind for a second. Polaris, the North Star, one of the most famous stars in the sky. The light that you're seeing from that star takes 680 years to get here. 680 years. And most of the stars that we see in the sky take a few hundred years to get here, the majority of them, because even the closest one is still 4 years away. So when you look up at the night sky, everything you're seeing up there, everything in the sky is old light. It is light that was shining way in the years in the past, sometimes many, many decades, hundreds of years in the past, and it took this long for it to reach us. The perspective about that is that that's us. As everyday heroes, we are that night sky. We are the beautiful image that when you look up and see how powerful, when you go out in the countryside where the city lights are non-existent and the pollution is low, and you can really see all the stars in the sky. It's one of the most beautiful, stunning images you're ever going to see in your life. But the reality is that all of it is light that came to us years ago. And we're just seeing it now. We're just experiencing the reality and impact of it now. And that is how our work works. That is why in everything we're part of to make a difference in the world, faith is required. Because just as that star is shining light, not knowing where it's going to go or how long it's going to take to get to where it ultimately will be seen or appreciated, we are that way too. We wake up every day knowing that we are giving our hearts and our spirits and our souls to making an impact, and knowing that what I do today, what you do today, the impact of that may not be seen for years. It may be as close as 4 years, the Proxima Centauri, that may take 4 years. But let's even go big and say one of the most beautiful stars in the sky, the North Star. It takes 680 years for people to see the light from that amazing star. I doubt that your efforts are going to take 680 years, but maybe they will. Maybe the main impact you make and the way it gets paid forward over time will take 680 years. Maybe you will be the North Star in someone else's life. And I wish I could tell you, that you will know the resolution to that, that you will be able to see and find the meaning of that. But the likelihood is high that the best effort, the most impact you will make in your life, in your work of everyday heroism, you will not see the result of it. The North Star has no idea that there are people laying on the grass tonight, looking up at the sky, imagining and dreaming and experiencing joy and beauty because of the light it's sending out. It has no idea. It doesn't know. It's not aware of that. And I wish I could tell you that the power that you will create over time is going to be apparent, and you're going to receive that affirmation in a clear, tangible way. But you may not. You may never know. You may never connect with the people that experience the truest value from what you're doing, the children, the following generations, because so much of what we do when we impact a person, one person or a group of people, is it changes a trajectory. It changes something within a space, and that small change in trajectory can change the life of so many other people surrounding that situation. And you may never, ever connect with those people. And those people may never know that you were the one that created that change, that created that slight shift in trajectory that over the course of time created huge change. And so that's why faith is required. That's why belief is required and hope is required in a world where you do good. With destruction, you can see that impact immediately, which is why it creates so much sadness in us, because we can feel it so deeply. We can feel that discouragement and see it in such a real, tangible, immediate way. But the work of doing good, of helping people and loving people, it's making just as strong an impact. It's just happening over a longer, more sustained period of time. But we have to maintain the hope and the belief that is required to stay with it, to every morning wake up and say, I will keep going, I will keep helping, I will stay in contribution, even though I don't exactly know what impact it's making. I can't see it today. I don't get the wrecking ball effect and the loud noise and the clear destructive power. Instead, I am the long-term, long-range starlight. I am the starlight that is continuing to help and to bless and to encourage and to inspire over time, over days and weeks and months and years. That's you. You are the starlight. Thank you. Thank you.